So we first of all grow fruit for its prettiness.
Yes.
And a lot of the variants that are produced, the hybrids, they're all because they look impressive.
Yes.
They're more colourful, they're shinier, they're bigger.
And they wax them and water them, and they literally polish them, don't they, to make them look.
Literally, and the waxing, some of those coatings that are on the fruits are really quite dangerous.
Yes.
They contain chemicals that you shouldn't be putting in your body anyway. So, the skins of the fruits contain fertiliser, pesticides, waxes, and all sorts of other things.
So then, continuing our chat about keto-friendly foods, which is kind of the theme. Fruit. I was
Is that a new word?
Yes, it's a secret keto fruit. I was thinking fruit, actually. Continuing our chat about foods that fit comfortably into a keto diet.
Yeah.
One of the questions we get a lot is around fruit and vegetables, because traditionally everyone thinks fruit and vegetables are healthy, so therefore we can have as many as we want in the keto diet or keto lifestyle, and it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
So we have lots and lots of questions about what are the right fruits are in, what are the right veggies that are in, and which ones should I avoid not to blow my sugars or my carbs.
Yeah.
So let's start with that.
Well, so I think, there's a couple of really important points. There's a couple of myths that we've got to debunk here, because you're right. First of all, people have been told over the years, eat your veggies.
That's what Mum used to say, eat your veggies.
Eat your veggies.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
My mum used to say, no dessert until you've eaten your veggies. And it was always the cabbage that was left on the plate.
Yes.
And it had always gone cold, and the cauliflower had gone cold, and they were horrible. So, we've kind of grown up with that, you must eat your veggies.
And the other one is I used to be out with people all the time who, and this is a ladies' thing because guys don't traditionally do it. They'd say we'd go for breakfast, and they'd say I'm on a diet. I'm just going to have a fruit salad, and they'd have this big bowl of sugar.
Yes.
I was like,
Yes.
yeah. But they mean well,
Absolutely.
and they didn't want the toast, the cereals, the bacon, the eggs. They just wanted a bowl of sugar.
That's it. So hold that thought, because I really want to dig into that as well, around the sort of psychological and the chemical side of that. So, so myth number one, veggies are good for you. You must eat veggies and fruits. So let's talk about fruits and veggies.
Yes.
And I do encounter a lot of people, a lot of people I'm working with, or I meet just on the off chance, and they say, but how do you cope on keto? I love my veggies. And my answer is, there's plenty of room for veggies. There are some foods we're going to take away, but there's plenty of room for veggies.
Absolutely.
So if you are a salad and veggie lover, then great, you'll be fine. If you're a fruit lover, you might not be so fine. And this is where the big myth comes in, because again, we've been told over the years, eat colourful foods, eat the rainbow. Remember that? Eat the rainbow. That's another one.
Yeah.
Eat the rainbow, eat lots of fruit, eat lots of veggies. Guess who profits from that?
Yes, the fruit manufacturers.
The fruit
farmers.
People, the farmers. Probably not the farmers as much, actually, because they're the little guys, but the supermarkets.
Absolutely.
The big supermarket chains. What's the first thing that you get to when you walk in the supermarket in a lot of countries? It's actually the fruit and veggie aisle. And it looks beautiful. They've been spraying it to keep it nice and fresh looking.
Make it look pretty.
And the second you get it
pumping it full of water to get it.
Pumping it full of water. The second you get it home, it goes in the fridge and it wilts. It's dead. Sorry, I've got to digress. I've got to tell a story here.
Tell a story.
This story is why fruits are not always good for you. So, I travel a lot. We both travel a lot, Mike. And there was one time years ago, I was in Egypt. And somebody told a story in Egypt. They said, be very careful about the watermelons that are being sold at the side of the road. They look amazing. And they were big and luscious and juicy, and everywhere you went there was watermelon, on the buffet table, or for as a little appetizer, or just a refreshing snack. And so everybody would want to eat all of the watermelon.
It's warm, so it's hot.
And it's hot. It's a hot country. When we were there, it was 45 degrees.
Yes.
It was really dry, so you're getting dehydrated. So it's a beautiful, refreshing, fruit to have. And everybody was eating the watermelon. Interestingly enough, people were dropping like flies. They were all getting sick, gastro type of problems, diarrhea, upset stomachs, vomiting. And then somebody said to me, a lot of the watermelons, what they do is they grow them, they puncture them, they submerge them in the Nile River, which is one of the most polluted rivers, and it's got lots and lots and lots of bacteria in it, and that plumps them up, and then they take them to the side of the road and they sell them.
Beautiful.
So there you go. There's a little story. It was a bit of a digression as to why fruit is not always good for you.
Yes. There's a few countries that do that. So watch out for the watermelon.
Watch out for the watermelon. Watch out. That is the typical trick, actually. I ended up on that holiday. I did end up on an IV drip. I got diarrhea and I was on an IV drip for a few days, so with morphine injections.
Tip number 1 when in Egypt and Indonesia.
Don't eat the watermelons.
Watermelons are off. Cool.
So here you go. So apart from watermelons, basically the fruit that we get now, we're going to talk fruit first of all.
Good.
A lot of the vegetables are the same. Fruit is usually not what our ancestors had, right? It doesn't bear any resemblance. It's grown, first of all, for its looks.
Yes.
Fruit has to be beautiful. Whereas in the past, what you would find in nature is gnarly, ugly looking fruit.
Yes.
The sort of thing that if you saw it on your plate today, you would not eat it. You know, the kids won't eat it because it doesn't look good.
Yeah, it's just a lot of supermarkets now have those bags of seconds.
Yes.
Or the ones that didn't make the grade. The ugly fruit gets sold for half the price. And the ugly fruit is just as good.
Yeah.
It just doesn't look as pretty.
That's it.
So it doesn't get the premium price.
Exactly right. So we first of all grow fruit for its prettiness.
Yes.
And a lot of the variants that are produced, the hybrids, they're all because they look impressive.
Yes.
They're more colourful, they're shinier, they're bigger.
And they wax them and water them and they literally polish them, don't they, to make them look.
Literally. And the waxing, some of those coatings that are on the fruits are really quite dangerous.
Yes.
They contain chemicals that you shouldn't be putting in your body anyway. So, you know, the skins of the fruits contain fertiliser, pesticides, waxes, and all sorts of other things. So there's the next. The next thing is that the fruit is grown for its sweetness. So what we've done is we've artificially evolved our fruits to be much, much sweeter than they ever were in nature. A lot of fruit in nature was quite tart. And, you know, you wouldn't want to eat a lot of it. So that was nature's mechanism for stopping you gorging on carbs.
Yes.
So you wouldn't eat a lot of the fruits and you wouldn't even find a lot of fruits because as you were out foraging, you might come across the odd windfall apple. You might come across a few berries growing, you know, wild by the side of the track.
Yes.
You wouldn't find an orchard with 1,000 trees.
Strangely.
All right, or in a greenhouse so that they're ripened at the wrong time of year. So the fruits that we're eating are not what our ancestors ate. They're bred for their sugar content to taste succulent and sweet, which means they're bad for us. They're full of sugar.
Absolutely.
So we've got these really sugary fruits. Grown for their appearance. They don't look anything like the ancestors had. They're grown out of season, and often they're grown, you know, hydroponically or, you know, they're artificially grown. Then they go into warehouses, so they're harvested, they're taken to warehouses, and they can be stored for 9 months at a time. So a friend of mine she turned oranges in a warehouse when she was a student.
Wow.
She literally went into the warehouse and they would just literally turn them all. And they'd be looking for ones that were going bad, that were going mouldy and rotten. They'd take them out, and then that warehouse was pumped full of, you know, gases and refrigerants to keep it cool. So those fruits are kept cool in the warehouse. They're usually picked when they're not quite ripe, so the nutrients are not there. They're put in the warehouse, they're chilled. Then when they're ready to go to the supermarket, they'll pump some ripening gas in there. So they pump some more chemicals at your fruit, and then they take them to the supermarket. That means that your fruit might have been harvested 9 months before you actually get it.
The fresh fruit concept.
The fresh fruit concept is not very
Not so fresh. Not so fresh.
Also means that when you get it, that's why it wilts or goes bad super fast. It doesn't last. So look, there's lots of reasons why fruit is not what it used to be. It's not good for you because it's full of sugar, it's full of chemicals, it's waxed. So I would say fruit is not a keto-friendly food in general. And when people challenge me and say, hey Lynn, what about all the vitamins and minerals? You know, I've been told I need my vitamins and minerals. I would suggest 99% of fruit that you get, especially in the big supermarkets, has no vitamins or minerals left in it. The vitamins have gone through the storage process. They only last for a few hours or days. And, you know, the minerals, they're grown in mineral lacking soil. So the soil doesn't have minerals anymore.
Yes.
So the fruit doesn't have minerals.
Yeah.
So you're not getting anything. And as you said, when you go out for breakfast and you decide to order the fruit platter, the bowl of fruit, you are literally consuming a large portion of sugar.
Artificial fruit with artificial sugar. All right, so fruits are not part of the keto diet. Is there any fruits that we can have, and which ones are there? Because generally fruits, because of their sugar content, are out.
Yes.
But there must be one or two we can add in.
Look, there's a couple that we can add in. So the first one is avocado.
Hey!
It's not, people don't think of it as a
No,
fruit.
but it is, isn't it?
It is a fruit because it's got a seed in it.
Good.
So
Yay.
technically
The
it's a
golden fruit.
It is the golden fruit,
Yes.
except when it's green.
Good. It's the keto golden fruit.
It is a magic fruit. So avocados are amazing because they're very low in carbohydrates. They've got some fibre in them, which is natural, good, soluble fibre. And they've got lots of good fats, the monounsaturated fats, super heart healthy, wonderful to add to your meals. So the first and foremost fruit, you can eat it every day, is avocado.
Absolutely.
Brilliant avocados. The next one on the list is coconut. So coconut is, the flesh of the coconuts. I'm thinking about the older coconuts here
Right.
that have got that drier flesh.
Okay.
That's actually okay. Doesn't have a lot of carbohydrates.
So not the juice?
Not talking about the juice. Not talking
coconut
about,
water, isn't it?
yeah, we're not talking about coconut water.
Okay, we're talking about the actual flesh.
Yeah, so let's make that distinction. Coconut water.
Bad.
Well, look, it's a tricky one. You've opened a can of worms there. We better have a quick digression.
Because it's $1 million market, coconut water.
It's $1 million market, it sure is. Look, coconut water has got a few interesting properties. It's because of the way the coconut absorbs water and filters it through its shell, the water inside the coconut is extremely pure. So it's actually technically sterile.
Wow.
Because nothing has pierced the coconut during its growing life.
Okay.
Nothing gets in there.
Yes.
So what's inside is sterile water. And actually, during the World War One and Two, they used coconut water when they didn't have blood plasma. So it's safe to inject into your veins.
That's sterile.
It's that sterile.
Wowzers.
So I don't want to put coconut water down because it's got some amazing properties, but it does have quite a lot of carbohydrates.
Okay.
Those young coconuts still contain some sugar. When you extract the water, there is a bit of carbohydrate. Not huge amounts, but if you're going to guzzle 300 grams or 9 ounces, you're going to get a big whack of sugar.
Yes.
So if you want to have coconut water, it's okay to have a bit. Maybe top it up with some soda water or some mineral water or some regular tap water. So have some, but don't have a lot.
Just focus on the flesh. The flesh is...
But the flesh of so that's from the young coconut. The
Yes.
old coconut gives you that dry flesh, the stuff that you have to chew for hours,
the white stuff.
and you can't eat a lot of it.
No.
It doesn't have a lot of carbohydrates. It's got some good, some good things in there, and you can't eat lots.
Good. So avocados, flesh of the coconut,
Flesh of the
and
coconut.
any others?
Yeah, so we've got a couple of things. Lemons and limes.
Good.
They're fairly low in carbohydrates. You can't really overeat lemons and limes. Can't imagine eating 3 ounces or 100 grams. Probably pretty difficult to do. So even though they've got some carbs in them, you're not going to have a huge quantity.
Good.
You're probably not going to have, again, litres and litres of lemon and lime juice, but they're a great addition to your drink. So when you've got, a nice sparkling mineral water like I've got today,
yes.
squeeze a bit of lemon or lime in there,
Makes it a
and
drink.
it makes it a lovely drink, and it's also great for alkalizing the body and offsetting some of the acid properties
A
of
little
your
bit of
meats.
vodka in the bottom, and it's a social drink.
I'll pass on the vodka, but it's true. If you're out and about, it's a good option.
Good. Excellent.
So lemon lime, good.
Good. Any others?
There are a few others. Berries,
Right.
you can have in moderation. Now, I typically tell people don't have berries.
Why do you do that?
Well, the reason is it's really easy to overeat berries.
They're pretty yummy, aren't they?
Pretty yummy. Think about it. You've been to the strawberry field and you've picked your own strawberries.
So berries, we're talking strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, Anything with the word berry on the end.
Raspberry, boysenberry.
Okay. So
any
they're all the same family, aren't they?
They're all pretty much the same.
And they're all low in carbs?
They're all reasonably low in carbs.
Okay.
Blueberries are about the highest.
Okay.
Your raspberries, blackberries. So again, the tartar, the
Yes.
sharper ones.
The
tend
sweeter,
to be,
the sugar. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it. So
makes
your
sense.
sweeter strawberries, sweeter blueberries tend to be higher in sugar.
It's easy to sit there with a bowl of berries.
It sure
and
is.
Have, so
Yeah.
what's the recommended amount? What would be a realistic amount for someone to consume in berries, or what's the carb content of berries?
I'd be looking, if I was going to have some berries, and a good way to have berries might be as a dessert.
Yes.
Could be to have, a very small portion of berries and some heavy whipping cream.
Yes.
So then you've got great fats and you've just got a touch of colour and a touch of flavour. So maybe go for a handful.
Yep.
1 ounce, 30 grams.
Yep.
That's going to be a fairly small quantity. If we look at blueberries, which have probably got the most sugar of any of the berries, they're about 12 grams of carbohydrates per 100 grams serving.
Okay.
So that's why I'm saying go for 30 grams or an ounce, because if you go for 3 ounces or 100 grams, you've got yourself 12 grams of carbohydrate.
Which is a lot, isn't it?
Which is quite a lot in one sitting.
Yeah.
And by the time you've added bits in from your nuts and your veggies during the day,
it's easy to go above.
it's easy to go above. And like I said, it's just easy to overeat
Yeah.
berries.
So
Very
fruits really, avocado's the standout.
avocado standard, yeah.
The lemon, the limes, the coconut, the berries, all in moderation. Right, so
Yeah.
that's park fruit.
It's part of that. So avocado, add it to everything. Lemon and limes, spice up your drinks,
Yeah.
give yourself a little bit of flavour, and then reserve the berries maybe for a treat.
Yes.
Perhaps don't have them every day.
Good. All right, veggies. So veggies in or out?
So veggies are very much in.
Excellent.
But we don't, look, there's different schools of thought on this one, and it's a bit controversial because, again, as we said at the beginning, we've been told to eat our veggies
Yes.
all of our lives.
All our veggies.
All of our veggies, the whole range, the spectrum, eat the rainbow, as we said. So it is quite a difficult one. But veggies we can kind of split into 2 categories. There's the above ground veggies,
Right.
so those that grow above the ground.
Yes.
On stalks or on bushes or on tendrils, on vines,
Yes.
or even in trees. And then we've got the below ground veggies. Those are your root vegetables. So things like your carrots and your potatoes.
Right.
So if for some people don't know what a vegetable patch looks like, but if you do and you visualise a vegetable patch, you've got things that grow down under the ground and those things that grow above the ground.
Okay.
All right? Above the ground are the ones that we want. Below the ground are the ones we don't want.
Which is a really easy way of sort of choosing between the 2 types, because you can most people can walk through a veggie aisle and very quickly understand which ones are below, which ones are above ground. And that's a really good ready reckoner for keto, non-keto.
And if you're not quite sure, maybe you're a student and you've never grown veggies, so you don't know what you're looking at. As you're walking around, think about things that have got roots.
Yes.
If it's got a root system of its own, so carrots have got the roots, potatoes,
turnips,
parsnip,
yes, sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes, they all look like a root, and they've all got their root systems. If it's got a root system, it's been grown in the ground because the root system is what it brings its nutrients. Or if you can see soil on it, if it's got soil on it, it's been grown in the soil. It's been grown in the ground. So, you might laugh, but these are really simple tips. If you're getting confused with this big list of what you can and can't eat,
yes,
walk around the supermarket and have a look. Is it dirty? Then don't have it.
Good. And that's because they're high in starch and sugar.
That's right. So those vegetables have got lots of starches in them.
Yes.
And some of them have got sugar in them as well.
So the carb level is up quite high.
Much higher in carbs than the above ground veggies.
Which is interesting because things like, lots of people have things like carrots and they think they're healthy. And a lot of salads are populated heavily with carrots because they're cheap and easy. And so you find most dishes, they use carrot as a filler or in the salad or in the veggies because they're cheap for the restaurant or cheap to produce.
That's
They're actually full of sugar.
So look at the carrots. Take carrots as a great example. Think about a heritage carrot. And a heritage carrot is an old variety.
Yes.
They're the ones that are thin.
Yes.
They don't look very nice. They're all gnarled and twisted again.
Yes. Faces on them.
They have faces on them. They're usually quite small.
Right.
They may be purple in colour, they may be orange in colour.
Right.
But they are actually, then they don't have a lot of flavour.
Right.
Look at our carrots, again, the ones that are purposely grown to be sold in the supermarkets. They're big,
Yes.
they're very regular in their shape,
Yes.
and when you actually taste them,
They're bright orangey
bright
colour.
orange, sometimes they're dyed.
Yes.
And then when you taste them, they've got a real sweetness
Yes.
to them. And again, just like the fruit,
Yes.
because they're quite sweet, they're pretty yummy, people overeat them because 100 grams of carrot doesn't look like a lot,
No.
and it's easy to chow down on.
And
that.
worse still when people have like carrots, carrot juice. Well, they juice their veggies and they get these sweet veggies and they have half a dozen carrots into a carrot juice with a little bit of good stuff, but the majority of that drink is carrots or sugar. Yeah.
Don't get me on to vegetable juices and fruit juices.
That's a whole other
because
episode.
If anybody who is listening or watching, if you are juicing or you regularly go to a Boost juice or something like that and you get yourself a big healthy smoothie or juice, then be aware that what you're doing is having pure sugar, because there's not a lot of nutrient left. Remember, I said that already. So the vegetables and the fruits have already been kept and stored and transported, so all the nutrients are gone. You are left with pure sugars, and when you juice, you take all the fibre away.
Yes.
Fibre slows down our digestion. What you're doing is you're taking it all away when you juice it.
You're just getting the sugar.
You're just getting the sugars left in there, and you're just drinking pure sugar, which just hits your body like, a huge, just a cup of sugar basically.
Yeah.
You'll get a massive sugar high and a huge crash. So
Okay.
don't drink your fruit and veggies. That is a rule.
So root veggies or the below ground veggies are out.
They are. So
And
just to explain, that includes, as well as your carrots and your parsnips and your turnips, that's all your potatoes and your sweet potatoes.
Yes.
So that's why we don't eat potatoes and sweet
because they're
potatoes,
full of carbs.
because they're full of starchy carbs grown under the ground.
So let's go above the ground and maybe give us a list of, say, the veggies that you could use in a salad, and then maybe the other veggies are more traditional in a veggie mix.
Great, so let's start with a salad. Yeah,
Yep.
like that. So if you're a salad fan, and lots of people enjoy a salad with their meal,
Yep.
then lettuce is fine, spinach is great, cucumber, tomato, things like, tomato go easy on.
Because
It's
it's
technically
a bit of sugar.
Technically it's fruit,
Yes.
but again, if you go easy on it, you're fine. So yeah, lettuce, spinach, cucumber, tomato, and things like peppers. And possibly it's an exception, radish, it's grown in the ground, but it's okay.
It's a wild card.
Yeah, so typically what you would call your salad veggies
Yes.
are generally pretty good.
Good. All right.
All right, so you're okay with that. Pop your avocado on your salad
Of course.
and some nice olive oil.
And some nuts.
Some nuts
Some
in there.
cheese.
You've got yourself an amazing
Yum.
salad.
Some nice crunchy, healthy, fatty salad.
Exactly.
And if we go to the veggie side, what are some of the above ground veggies that fit into the keto diet?
Yeah, so if you want to go veggies, you want to cook your veggies, and by the way, I do recommend cooking these. There's lots of raw food diets out there. My personal opinion is that we digest our vegetables much better when they're cooked.
Yep.
So this category you want to be cooking, steaming them, air frying them, stir frying them, and maybe popping them into your slow cooker. So here we're talking about your broccoli and your cauliflower.
Right.
They're great keto staples, and we know you can make really nice cauliflower rice.
Yep.
So you can make a rice alternative with cauliflower. Then you've got cabbage. So cabbage makes wonderful sauerkraut and kimchi. So you get lots of fermented benefits there. Then you've got things like Brussels sprouts, love them or hate them. They can be beautiful when they're roasted or done in the air fryer, so they're amazing. Asparagus is another great vegetable. And then you've got things like your zucchini and your eggplant.
Right.
So you've got a whole range of different types of vegetable that you can use. And then, of course, you've got your real leafy greens. So
Yes.
spinach can be cooked.
Yeah. Kale.
Spinach, you get a lot more iron when it's cooked, so
Right.
it's a great vegetable to cook. Kale is a wonderful one, so whether you cook the kale, kale is beautiful when it's stir-fried with garlic. And the other way to do kale is maybe kale chips that you can make in your air fryer. Any of the other leafy green above ground vegetables along the lines of kale are also going to be good.
So 2 others, garlic.
Aha.
Garlic, one of your faves.
Yes.
And mushrooms, where do they fit?
Right, interesting. So yeah, mushrooms are fine.
Yeah.
So mushrooms, we grow them, technically they're not in the ground,
Wrong.
they actually sit on the ground. So they're an interesting little category.
Well, they're little roots, but they do sit on top.
That's it. So they pop out of the ground and they grow above the ground. So mushrooms
the
are
devil's
fine.
side to the other side.
They've come to the light. So yeah, mushrooms are fine.
Yes.
And some people do find that they don't do well on mushrooms, but that's because of they're a FODMAP, and we'll get into FODMAPs on a later episode.
Yes.
So they can, just irritate people's tummy. But in terms of keto friendly, yes, and they're beautiful in stir fries. And garlic, all hail garlic.
All hail garlic. Hail garlic.
That's it.
We love garlic.
Now, garlic's an interesting one because technically garlic contains quite a lot of carbohydrates, so the percentage of carbs is quite high, but I don't see you eating 3 ounces or 100 grams of garlic in
It's
one
like lemon
sitting.
and lime, isn't it? You have a small quantity.
Used in moderation. It's also antifungal, antiviral. It's got some wonderful properties. It boosts the immune system. It helps the cardiovascular system. It has got so many amazing properties. I recommend including it in every single meal.
Yep.
So if you're having a few cloves a day, remember a clove is one of the little bits of garlic, not a whole head. You're having 3, 4, 5 of those a day, you'll be fine in terms of carbs. You're not adding anything significant.
Excellent. So a great walkthrough, because it is tough, people starting out on keto and not knowing what to do. And as you said, there is this baggage of eat your veggies, salads are good. So those starting out and those people in keto maybe not getting the results that they want. It's a really good ready reckoner to have a bit of a look at what are your fruits, what are your veggies, are you overeating on the ones you shouldn't, or are you including ones that really are not part of the keto diet?
That is. So, really simple summary. Fruits, most of them are out.
Yep.
Eat them in moderation. If you're going to eat any, have berries.
Yes.
Stick with a very small handful. You should be looking at a closed handful.
Yep.
Avocados, wonder fruit.
All hail avocado.
All hail avocado. Have lots of those.
Yes.
Add them to everything. Garlic in the same category.
All hail garlic.
All hail garlic. We
Yes.
love our roasted garlic. Raw garlic's amazing for you as well.
A garlic and avocado smoothie.
Oh, that could be amazing.
That could be amazing.
Crushed, not juiced. Beautiful. And then your vegetables, the 2 categories, the below ground, you're not going to have those. Those are the starchy, sugary, the potatoes, the carrots, the pumpkins, the turnips, the parsnips, the turnips. And then you've got the above ground. Feel free to eat these, plenty. Have your salads. Very, very, very little in salad vegetables. So if you're a fan of salads, include them. And then, cook up some veggies to go with your main meals.
A bit of olive oil and a bit of butter, some seasoning.
Perfect mix.
Perfect keto mix. Awesome. Thank you for your time.
All right, let's eat.
Let's eat. Yum.